How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we come together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build that positive mindset. My name is Henry, and I'm so thankful to have each and every one of you here today because in this episode, we're going to talk about positive purpose. If you don't know where to go, if you're feeling lost, or even if you're going through something difficult, this is the episode for you because it's going to give you the perspective you need to move forward in your positive light. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep, healing, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So pick a word. It could be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, you're going to say that word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. We're going to take another deep breath. This one's about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so we can receive the message that we need to hear to get us in that positive perspective. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. So before we go into this message, there's something that I want to share that is of value to you. And there's going to be a whole episode on this on Wednesday's episode, but this is something that I hope that you understand. You see, it's not what I know. It's what you're able to take from this podcast or from me. And that is true with anything in the world. You see, it's not the value of the book. It's the value of the person that's reading it, that's taking the information. So if this is the first time listening, or you've listened in the past or watched this in the past, and you take something away and you think, well, I've heard this before but didn't click, or for whatever reason, it's because it's finally your time. You've done the work, you've evaluated, you've reflected, you've gone through hard things, good things, positive things, and you've got to the point to where your understanding is there. It's never the message, it's the person that's receiving it and what they do with it. That's what I believe about communication. See, it's not how good I can say something, it's how well I can make someone understand what it is that I'm trying to say. That's important. And so if you're understanding this, if you're applying it, it's because you've earned it. And I wanted you to know that. We'll do the full episode on that on Wednesday, but I wanted to point that out. So something that's really important when you're looking for purpose, when you're trying to understanding why is this happening? Why am I going through this? Why this hurt? Why is there wars? Why is there poverty? Why are all of these things here? When I think about those things, I try to look at the laws of the universe or things that are just true across the board. When you can apply something to every situation, an understanding or perspective, then it's a valuable perspective. And this perspective gives purpose. And it's that the world is an easy place, so we become hard on ourselves. Everything in this life, everything that you're going through, is to give growth. We call this place Earth School because you're here to learn. There is no experience where it's easy and you learn and grow. You have to go through resistance. You have to go through pain. And so throughout most of history, just surviving was hard enough. Making sure you had shelter, making sure you had food, make sure you had, access to water, protection from predators, all these things. Like there was so much that went on. There was, crime was so much higher. There was all these difficulties. And so just to survive, it took you waking up and showing up as your best every single day. Growth was so inevitable. Like you had to grow. But if you're listening to this in America or a country that is well off, wealthy countries, survival is almost a given. It's really hard to not survive. That doesn't mean there's not poverty. That doesn't mean there's not hard times. There's not these things. But when you really start evaluating, how much are we creating of that? How many people are struggling with mental things that are holding them back, that we didn't have the luxury to struggle with before? We're at that next level of growth. You see, this time that we're in isn't just about that technology is amazing, that there's all these resources, that medical system is better. When you start having to face yourself and the mind and the things within you, your spirit, your soul, that's the next highest level of growth. So we should be thankful for this time, because that means you made it. You've incarnated in this experience when some of the most difficult things you'll face are in here. And that is the hardest place, because all your power is in there. So if you're going against something that is difficult in the mind, whether it's just mental blocks, limitations, trauma, all of those things, those are some of the most powerful things. Those are more difficult than surviving, just needing to shelter, like those things, because those are reptilian. Those are your body. You just had to do that to survive. Now we're in the space of energy, reflection. And so these challenges that you face are difficult challenges. They are extremely powerful because they're created by you. You are the creator, and you are extremely powerful. Once you understand the purpose behind it, it can give you the fuel to continue to move forward. You are meant to become the opposite of what you face. You are meant to become the light of what you face. But you create it. The pain that's specific to you is unique. Nobody has your specific situation. No one has your specific past. No one has your specific traumas. No one has your specific limitations. No one has your specific filter. It's all you. It's unique. It's expansive. If you think about the billions of people on the planet and no one is having the exact same experience, if you take all the negative, all the hurt, and they're able to create the opposite of that, think how much good is being created into the universe, into the world, into our souls. So your purpose is valuable. Your struggles are valuable. Your hurt, the mental, the things that you're going through are extremely valuable because you get to bring the opposite of that. There's a purpose to being here. It wasn't by accident. There's a purpose to this creation. It wasn't just because it just happened. There was a design. Designed to spread love, to expand the highest frequency. But if we are creators, if that's what we do, we have to create the other frequency. You create it by learning to operate in it. You learn to operate in it by being in the opposite of it, and then making the changes. We're not just reflectors. If you're in the most perfect environment and then you become perfect because you're in the environment, then you are not that. You're just a reflection of that. You're just a receiver, but that's not what we are. Because then if the environment changed, you would then change along with it. It's so much more powerful to be the light in darkness than to be the light in the light. You are meant to be the light in the darkness. That is your purpose. That is your goal. That is your focus. And it's a heavy positive one. It's an extremely valuable one. So when people talk about that, we live in the best time to be alive, we do. That doesn't mean it's the easiest. And that doesn't devalue the things that you're struggling with. They are the hardest. The mind is the most powerful trap of them all. If you can control someone's mind, if you can get someone to believe certain things, whether it's through trauma or deliberately sabotaging someone to think a certain way, that's the worst trap they can be in. Because they continue to reinforce it and trap themselves. Imagine if the truth is that you can be anything, do anything, and experience anything that you desire, but yet you were convinced that you couldn't. That's a trap. That's a cage. That's limiting what you're capable of. Everyone is supposed to be abundant so that they can give abundantly. You can't give abundantly if you're not abundant. And I don't just mean financial, I mean spiritually, physically, all of the frequencies. We are meant to be the highest version that's completely possible. So right now, if you don't know which direction to go, look at what's the most hurt that you're facing, whatever it is. That's your purpose. It's not to not hurt anymore. It's to learn to love whatever it is that's bringing you pain. When you love whatever it is, then you're in the love frequency. So many people turn into the Positive Mindset podcast, and this is where it's maybe different than other things because they're feeling low. They're hurting. Maybe this is you, and you want some positivity. You want joy. You want happiness. You want to feel good. So you're thinking, I'll tune into this, and it'll give me some positive info. I'll feel positive about my situation. I'll feel good. You see, a positive mindset is not being in joy all the time. It's not being happy all the time. It's not being in love all the time. It's just that your perspective on life is always the highest that you're able to be, no matter the situation, no matter how difficult it is. However hard your life is, there's an experience that's worse where someone would desire to be in yours, no matter what. No matter how bad you have it, somebody has had it worse and would wish for yours. So that means if they're wishing for yours, there's some kind of silver lining in your experience right now. The thing that you're facing, that you're struggling with, there's some kind of silver lining, even if it's this. This is the one I always go to. If there's nothing you can see good about your situation, think about this. When you overcome it, 10 years from now, you meet the person that's struggling with the same thing. They're in the same hurt, the same pain, the same loss. They're feeling as you felt 10 years ago. And you're able to help them. You're able to offer them your experience, your advice, your learnings, your growth, and so they're able to heal. Everything you give them is a gift at that moment because it's what you wish to receive right now. You wish that somebody would show up that struggled with the exact same thing that you've gone through, the exact pain, and they healed it themselves, and now they're free of it. And then they give you the advice, they give you the experience, they give you the blueprint on how to do it, and they hold out their hand so that you're able to do it. You would see that as a gift. Well, it's a gift one way, it's a gift both ways. So when you're going through it, it's still a gift because you get to give it. Even if that's the only silver lining you can find, it's still worth it. And there'll be so much more because there'll be so many more people that you can help when you go through these things. It doesn't have to be the exact thing. It's the blueprint that's always there. It's the positive mindset that's always there. It's the highest perspective in every situation that's always there. So welcome to Earth School. Take that perspective. I am here to learn. Things will be hard. I'm the creator of this experience. So whether it's creating hard times because physically it's hard, survival, food, resources, or to the next level where it's energetically, the mind, things like that. Whatever it is that you're facing, you can handle it. You were meant to be so much more. You were given every tool that you need. You are the creator of your experience, so you can create even you in the experience. Imagine if at the end of all this, when you pass away and you're dead, people think we go to heaven and we meet God and all those things. Imagine this. Imagine you go to wherever and you get there. And the being that's waiting for you is the highest version of you. It's the version that you would have became in this experience if you committed to that. And of course they love you, their highest version of you. It's not what they would feel towards you, it's what you would feel towards them. Imagine showing up, living this life, and then meeting the person that you could have been, that you should have been, that you were meant to be, and seeing that. Knowing all the opportunities, all the things that you could have done if you decided to find the gratitude, the high perspective of any situation in your life. That's who you would have became. And the hardest part about it would be knowing that that person that you could have became, again, that person loves you. That's the highest version. It only has love. But you're sitting absent of it. You're seeing it. You're seeing what you could have been, what you should have been, what you're meant to be. The first hurt would be initially knowing that I should have been that. I could have been that. The second, and this is the most impactful one, is that's the person I could have gave to my friends. That's the person I could have gave to my community. That's the person I could have gave to the world. But instead I gave this lesser version. These challenges, these things that you're going to do, it's not just for you. And whatever you have to do to get there, no matter how many boundaries that you have to put, how much work you have to put in to study, the meditation, the prayer, all of those things, it's worth it because being that version of you and giving it to somebody is the most powerful thing. It's your purpose. It's who you're meant to be. It's who you get to be. It's why this creation's here. It's why we're in the Earth School. It's how we become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful. Hope all that made sense. I know that's a little bit of a different way of saying it, but it's all about getting that high perspective. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link down below. It will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram and TikTok down below. I appreciate all the follows there. I have one spot left. If you're wanting to work with me, if you want to apply these concepts to yourself, if you realize that I can shift, and you're an entrepreneur, you know that if you make this mental shift, whether it's, personally you're struggling with some traumas or you want to step into the money part, you want to use the process that I use for building a positive mindset to tapping into your business mindset, your money mindset, and break all those things down, get the highest perspective so that you can see your business from the highest angle so you can apply what it is that needs to happen. reach out to me. The best way is either through Instagram or email. There's a link down below. We can talk about it. This is a specific program for a specific person. This is a higher priced option. So again, it's not for everybody. It's not for somebody just getting started. For somebody that has a business that's been going and ready to take it to the next level. Again, I have one spot available for this. Once it's full, it'll be full for a little while until another one opens up, and then we'll bring it back again. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.